Hello my fellow chatterers and book lovers and anyone else who's popped in because you're curious about what this is, or you've got a little bit lost, or you're just really excited for middle grade because I get to announce the results for the round 2 voting and tell you which books are on the shortlist for the Middlegrade Readers Choice Awards. So I'm going to do a brief introduction of what the Middlegrade Readers Choice Awards is, if you're not sure. I am then going to be revealing the shortlist and doing a spoiler-free synopsis for each book. I'm then going to tell you how to vote for the winner. And finally, I'm going to give you an audio description of all of the book covers in case you are just hearing the audio and can't see the visuals. And I'm going to rank them. I'm going to go from 10 to being my least favourite to 1 being my favourite of the book covers. So get yourself a hot drink, get yourself a pen and paper if you want to make notes on some excellent middle grade books. At least I presume they're excellent, because the key to the Middlegrade Readers' Choice Awards is that they're books we're excited about. We do not need to have read them. We just want to share the love of middle grade and hype for books we think might be fantastic. So we are on round 3, which is the final round of voting in order to choose our winner. And we are going to be reading the top 5 on my Discord. So if doing a buddy read of some of these middle grade books sounds up your street, do click on the link in my description, which takes you to my Discord that you can join. It is a middle grade focused Discord. We do talk about other stuff in some areas, but the majority is for middle grade books specifically. And so we'll be reading those over 2025. The Middlegrade Readers' Choice Awards is something I came up with last year because Goodreads cut the middle grade category, which made me and a few other people very sad. So I was like, well, which are the books that people are talking about? Which are the books that most people have read and are excited for? Which would win the most popular middle grade book published for that year? And so I feel I've got it more established this year. I've got a much better voting system, thanks to Jack from Let's Break Bookjoy for pointing me in the direction of the Google form. So thank you so much for everyone who has voted, shared, been excited, speaking in the Discord, speaking in the comments, or if you are just a lurker that is really interested, thank you so much for watching. It really does mean a lot. I'm just so pleased that middle grade just gets to be highlighted, and these books that often people don't know about can be shared around a bit more, which is what the whole purpose of this is for. Not only so as adults can enjoy the magic and delight of middle grade books, but also so children get a wider variety of stories, so that they find stories that really suit them, that speak to them, that help them continue to be readers. We can't access books that no one knows about, and stories really do shape our world. So all of these books have been published between November 2023 and October 2024, and they are all fictional novels. I haven't done graphic novels, I haven't done non-fiction. I've kind of narrowed it down so it's kind of easier to kind of compare against each other, and I have sort of like tried to include more of a variety of genres, but reflect mostly the genres that people on my Discord and with this channel, that your tastes are catered to. The books came from a mixture of what's been published according to Goodreads and Storygraph, but also recommendations from people that have been excited by certain books. And it's all kind of culminated together in this: a consideration list, an automatic list, and a hidden gems list, which then became a long list of 20 books. Okay, I am now going to be revealing the books that have made it onto the shortlist for you. I will be doing a brief synopsis. So for some of the books that are continuing in the series, I have adapted it so it's spoiler free and just changed my phrasing so it's more vague and just kind of gives you the themes that are being dealt with rather than naming people and places and specific events. But if you are someone that really doesn't like to know anything about books when you go in, and mild descriptions about things still like make you feel like you've been spoilt slightly for it, then please do skip along. I will timestamp this. You can read the books in the description, and you can just move on to where I tell you how to vote, and I talk about the book covers in my ranking and give you an audio description. So, in no particular order, the books that have made the shortlist for the 2024 Middlegrade Readers Choice Awards are the first book in the Whisperwicks series, which is The Labyrinth of Lost and Found by Jordan Lees. This is a fantasy book, and it came from the consideration longlist.
A boy who doesn't believe in magic. An impossible world that will change his mind. 11-year-old Benjamin Creek believes in science, logic, and the power of reason. He definitely does not believe in magic. But when he receives a mysterious gift in the post, a doll that can transform into a bird, he is led into the impossible and most definitely magical world of the Rethenwold, where dark secrets are lost amongst a vast labyrinth of streets. Benjamin soon finds himself swept along in a dangerous quest, led by the fierce and brilliant Eliza Bella, who is determined to solve the disappearance of her missing brother. Will Benjamin ever find his way home and discover his puzzling connection with this strange, enchanted world?
The second book onto the shortlist is The Last Hope School for Magical Delinquents by Nikki Powell-Prato. This is the first book in a new fantasy series, and this was one of the hidden gems.
Lavinia, Vin Lucas, is out of control and out of options. Stranded by parents who would rather use their average magical abilities to study dung beetles than raise her, Vin's been on her own for years. But she's never been able to control her own powerful, unpredictable magic. After years of detention, suspension, and expulsion from magical schools far and wide, she's now being sent to the Last Hope School for Magical Delinquents. If she gets expelled, it's the end of the line. Now Vin is determined to behave. Except no one at Last Hope seems to want her to. Her new teachers, particularly the school's kind-hearted headmistress, push her to explore her magic, and her mischievous classmates delight in every accident. And all the while, a mysterious fire sprite, a suspicious instructor, and her overwhelming abilities might just charge Vin. But for the first time, she's not alone. So when a former student begins attacking the school, Vin must question just how much she knows about the headmistress and her new home. Is this place worth saving? And are her budding abilities, and every trick, trap, and deception in her friend's delinquent arsenal enough to protect the Last Hope?
The third book to make it onto the shortlist is Skander and the Chaos Trials by A.F. Steadman. This is the third book in the Skander fantasy series, and this was one of the automatically placed books.
Skander faces his greatest challenge yet. To survive their third year of training, Skander and his friends must complete a series of terrifying trials across the island's elemental zones. Friendships, allegiances, and rider unicorn bonds will be pushed to the limit. Meanwhile, someone close to Skander has fallen under suspicion of putting the island in peril. They are alienated and alone. Skander must make a choice and decide where his loyalties lie.
The fourth book on the shortlist is the second book in the Green Wild series by Parry Thomas, which is The City Beyond the Sea. This is a fantasy book, and it came from the consideration list.
Across the ocean, a magical adventure awaits. Daisy Thistledown and the 5 o'clock Club have defeated a terrifying foe, but their journey to find the missing botanist is only just beginning. Smuggling on board the long-awaited expedition to the heart of the Amazon, Daisy and her friends find themselves in danger on the high seas, pursued across the waves by grim reapers. Their only hope? To find the legendary Iffenwild, a mysterious magical pocket lost to time. But beneath the waves of Iffenwild, a strange botanical magic stirs. It will take all of Daisy's courage and determination, and the trust of an unexpected new friend if she is to save the Green Wild from a terrible fate.
The fifth book making it onto the shortlist is the first book in a new series called Artisans, The Forgotten Magic by L.D. Lipinski. This is a fantasy series, and it came from the consideration longlist.
For the last 400 years, magic has been fading. Edward Crane has always feared he won't have any magic at all. Sure, he's part of a powerfully magical artisan family, but he's adopted. His twin sister Elodie isn't so worried, but then everything always seems to work out perfectly for her. So when Ed discovers he does have an artisan power after all, he's relieved. And it's more than he ever could have imagined. In fact, it's a dream come true. But the problem with dreams is that sometimes they twist themselves into nightmares. And with Ed's new abilities growing by the day, there's a chance that this nightmare will become all too real. A story of family identity, belonging, and the blood of the covenant versus the water of the womb. Who do you owe your magic to? Your blood, your family, your history, or yourself? Get ready. Magic is back.
Book number 6 making it on to the shortlist is Gut Reaction by Kirby Larson and Quinn Wyatt. This is a contemporary book and it came from the Hidden Gem list.
Tess Medina is still dealing with the loss of her father when she starts at a new school. One way she's still able to feel close to him is by doing what she does best, baking. He taught her everything she knows. But when tasting her creations causes a deep stabbing pain in her abdomen, she tries to power through and be strong in the same way she powers through her emotional pain. She doesn't mind too much. She's okay with sharing her baked goods at school in the hopes of making new friends. Luckily for Tess, her baking skills attract the right kind of attention, and she assembles a ragtag team to help her taste her new and classic creations in preparation for the Jubilee Flower Junior Baker West Coast competition. This is a chance to redeem herself and prove that she's a star baker. Above all, Tess is desperate to win first place and make her dad proud. But leading up to the competition, Tess's pain gets worse and worse, and soon she finds she's avoiding so many foods she's barely eating. When the physical pain becomes too great, Tess will be forced to confront everything she's been trying so desperately to hide.
Book number 7 for the shortlist is The Pumpkin Princess and the Forever Knight by Stephen Banbury. This is a fantasy book that came from the consideration list.
On Halloween, it's always wise to expect the unexpected, but no amount of planning could have prepared Eve for that particular night. Fleeing an unpleasant orphanage, she's saved by someone who she never believed was real, the fabled Pumpkin King himself. Throwing caution aside, Eve accepts the offer to become his daughter and is whisked away to the misty Hallowell Valley, home to witches and vampires, ghosts and goblins, and all that go bump in the night. But just when she believes she's found her place among the undead, a sinister scheme unearths itself, threatening to take everything from Eve unless she can stop it. A cosy magical adventure sure to delight anyone who loves the tricks of Halloween as much as the treats of autumn.
Book number 8, making its way onto the shortlist, is Keedy by L. McNichol. This is a contemporary book and it came from the automatic list.
Set in Juniper 5 years before A Kind of Spark, Keedy is a powerful coming-of-age story that thoughtfully tackles bullying, navigating friendships, and the joys and difficulties of being an autistic teenager. As Keedy and her twin sister Nina approach their 14th birthday, they seem to only be growing further apart. Keedy instead feels drawn to and fiercely protected of their quiet younger sister Addie, who on the surface is the opposite of the loud and fiery Keedy, but in fact they have more in common than anyone knows.
Book number 9 on the shortlist is The Girl Who Kept the Castle by Ryan Groudon. This is a fantasy book and it came from the Hidden Gems.
Wizard West was dead for nearly an entire day before he noticed, and it is up to Faye, the daughter of West's groundsman, to inform the wizard that he is a ghost who has lost all his magic powers, but not before the wizard tries transforming her into a cat. To make matters worse, the enchanted castle of Celador, the only home that Faye has ever known, will fall apart at the next full moon if its foundation spells can't be renewed. After sort of accepting his demise, West decides to host a competition to choose his successor. Faye finds herself fighting to keep the tournament running smoothly behind the scenes, putting out kitchen fires, feeding the compost dragon, and making sure competitors stay away from the cockatrice pen. But killer roosters soon become the least of her worries. A servant of the evil Shadow Queen has sabotaged the contest, set on destroying not just Celador, but the entire kingdom of Solemn. It's up to Faye to stop him, but she'll need more than a mop. Will a maid's magic be enough to save everything she loves from utter destruction?
And the final book to make its way onto the shortlist is book 3 in the Amari and the Supernatural Investigation series. It is Amari and the Despicable Wonders by B.B. Alston.
War has come to the supernatural world, and Amari's 2 worst enemies are leading the charge. Amari has to not only contend with a manipulator with a vicious grudge against magicians, but someone who wishes to be invincible and claim a new power that would ensure it. With no safe place for Amari, people who care about her are determined to keep her out of the fray, but she and her friends decide to find a way to end the war on their own. When they learn the only way to stop it is powerful magic inventions known as wonders, they go after them. But wielding these items comes at a terrible cost, and Amari will have to decide just how much she is willing to sacrifice, because the Despicable Wonders will demand everything.
So there we go. That is your shortlist for 2024. And of course, it's not over yet. You need to vote for the winner. So I'm going to ask you to please go into the description box. There is a Google form link in there. Click it and it takes you straight away to the document you need to use to vote for your winner. You have got 3 votes. So you can give your vote to 3 books. If there's only 1 book you want to vote for, just vote for 1. That's fine. But you have a maximum of 3 votes and you just go through the list, click the ones you want to and submit it. And that's it. And then it's all compiled and I will be announcing the winner. So I'm going to give you a top 5. I'm going to tell you which books come 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd and 1st in a little countdown. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And then those books we will be doing some sort of like buddy read, book clubby thing on my Discord.
There's now going to be a part 2 of this where I give an audio description of the book covers and rank them from my least favourite cover on the shortlist to my favourite cover on the shortlist. So please watch out for that video. But in the meantime, most importantly, vote for your favourite book that you are most hyped about for the Middlegrade Readers Choice Awards. Thank you so much.